He's come to deliver a completely improvised sermon for you. Please give a big welcome to the stage the insurmountable preacher, the Reverend Raymond Nader.
That's right! Genius! Thank you very much! You said insurmountable! How do you know what that word means? That is right. I am the Reverend Raymond Nader, and this gentleman right here is drinking a Pabst Blue Ribbon. I don't see any of your alcohol in your hands, but thank you. Give me something inspiring. I'm here to improvise a completely improvised sermon for you based on a suggestion that you provide. That's all right. I'm going to give you a little coaching on how to give me a suggestion. I don't want any of this, the 7 deadly sins. That's too easy. I want you to dig down deeply inside your notebook. I'm not going to bite you. I'm not going to do that. I want you to dig inside and ask yourself, what is sinful in your life, or what is strange, what is horrible, morally reprehensible? I know you know something morally reprehensible. You've been smiling. I've been watching through the peephole. I'm going to ask you at the count of 3 a sin that's going to inspire a sermon for you in the Pentecostal style. Are you ready? I ask. There's no comedy here. It's all just inspiration. Give me a suggestion at the count of 3 of a sin. 1, 2, 3.
Decadence.
Puppies.
Decadence is the first thing I heard. The women said like I'm in puppies in here. Decadence as a sin. How so is it a sin, sir, for you?
It's just too much.
Too much stuff. It's like greed. It's like babies growing up and wanting things. That doesn't make any sense. That didn't make any sense to me, but it did. I want more. It's decadent ice cream. It's decadent power. It's decadent clothing. It's decadent animals, little baby puppies. Of course, that's right. I've known that I know that you all love puppies. If you don't love puppies, you love kitty cats. You like to collect them. You like to hold them and watch a coffee. You're going to bring it inside you in your home, and you say like, oh, I want to bring it into my place. I want the love, I want the cuddliness, I want the beauty of the little baby puppies, the baby kitty cats, the meows and the boofs and the bow wow wows, and then they grow up. And then you find out you can't keep them. Maybe not you, maybe you're responsible, maybe you're totally able to care for it. Oh my gosh, I just projectile vomited on you. My apologies. Healed. You're one of the puppies, you had them, and some of you, I know that you can't really care for them. So they go away. It's that decadent desire. That desire to have a little loving life in your body and in your home, and then you can't care for it. The tears roll out of your mouth and your eyes. Tears out of your mouth, I don't understand. Tears out of your eyes. And you say you want it, you can't have it, and you have to give it up. Amen. Well then maybe, yeah, that's right. I want to hear a hallelujah. Hallelujah. That's right. You can't have the puppies. And if it's not you, you know, you've heard the Catholic stories, you've seen the ASPCA, or the other acronyms, the organizations, the places that collect the puppy dogs and the kitty cats and put them in the pound. And lock them up. And if you've seen the documentaries, you know what happens. It's such a sad image. It's sponsored by that decadence, the desire to bring the wonderful into your life. And I know you've wanted the wonderful. You live in freaking New York City. You want the big apartments. You want the top apartment. You want the penthouse. You want the ceilings that are 12 times the size of this one. You don't just want roses on there. You want cavaliers. You want them all over. You want snapdragons. You want anything. You want everything. It's a bestial life. It's a decadent life. It's a beautiful life. You want to brag to the friends. I know you. You see, I'm the Reverend Raymond Nader, a.k.a. the Reverend Nader. And I know what goes on inside you. And you know why I know what goes on inside you? Because I have felt those decadent desires for things like puppy dogs and kitty cats and everything. I am going to tell you a story about that experience that I've had. I once went to a pound. I had a desire for a dog. A little doggy, just one little chihuahua in my life. It was trendy at the time. I was modeling that for Paris Hilton. She was wonderful to me. She was inspiring. I went to a pound. I pop in. There was a wonderful fat woman who works with the dog. She has so much love to give, and she has all these puppy dogs in here. All these puppy dogs have been given up by Upper East Siders. I didn't understand it. Why would they do it? They have the money, but they don't have the desire for the trend in puppies anymore. I went to Chihuahua. I have salt in my eyes. But it makes wonderful. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. That's right. I saw in that woman's hands a whole litter of puppy dogs. And I wanted not just that one puppy dog when I saw that. No, I wanted 2 puppy dogs. I wanted 3 puppy dogs. That tickle? I don't care for them. I could care less if I could care for them. I could care for them. I said that. I said, woman, what's your name? She said, my name is Debbie. I said, Debbie, thank you very much. I will take all puppy dogs. She gave me not just a dozen, but she threw in one extra. It was a baker's dozen of puppy dogs. I wasn't going to cook them. I wasn't going to make food out of them, but I loved that compliment. You should have seen me in Central Park soon after. Soon after I had released all 13 dogs, and I was walking around the park with them, going every different direction. I couldn't find my way. They were untrained. You know what? You need to train these dogs. And I realized training costs money. I didn't care. I had credit cards. I put it on my credit cards because I lived large at this time. I wanted not just dogs. I wanted dog houses, and I wanted perfectly trained dogs. I took it to this big fat man. Happened to be fat. He was a trainer. He was a trainer himself. Something of hugeness in this. It must be the decadent eating that's going on. I think that's right. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! So what's going on is, I think the trainer, he says sit, he says stay, he says heel. He touches all the dogs one by one. 1 dog, 2 dogs, 3 dogs, 4 dogs, 5 dogs, 6 dogs, 7 dogs, 8 dogs, 9 dogs, 10 dogs, 11 dogs, 12 dogs, 13 dogs. He looks at me, he says, you realize, Reverend Nader, you have 13 dogs. And that number makes me feel a little uncomfortable. I love training dogs, but you know what? There's something in this size 13 litter of animals that's making me a little uncomfortable. I say, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. 13 is the sign of something. Something unlucky, I know. Not the devil. I didn't have 666 dogs. I had 13 dogs. I thought, oh my goodness, there's bad luck in here. I shake it off. I shake the sweat. It goes all over. This woman's walking by me as I shake the sweat. And it goes right down on her body. Then I sit back. I walk. The dog's now fully trained, walking in a straight line. It's so wonderfully boring now. I don't have the love. These dogs have now excelled in size. No longer the 6 little week-old puppy dogs. They've grown to size 1 year old. These were a big dog. These were a golden retriever dog. I did not know. I thought they were chihuahuas. They grew. Horribly mistaken I was. I'm not very versed in dogs. So I see the dogs growing. I'm walking in Central Park in a straight line. Big pack of dogs. People think I'm a dog walker. I'm not a dog walker. I'm a loving owner. But you know what? I'm a loving owner on the public side. I take it home. I take it to my non-Upper East Side apartment. Small and embedded in this place. And the dogs all around. Prior, they were overrunning the place. Now they were all sitting very obediently. It was very boring. There were like house plants in my place. So well trained. You think you want that? You think you don't? You don't. I yawned when I go to bed. I knew all of their names. There was Reginald, there was Donnie, there was Bob, there was Charlie, there was Saritha, there was Mademoiselle, there was Chihuahua, because I thought he was a Chihuahua. There was Rocky and Balboa, and then Reverend Raymond Nader II, and there was also Belinda, and I think there were some other ones in there too. They were fine, dandy dogs, but boring. I didn't want boring. I found myself yawning. I'd go to bed. I'd go to bed without feeding them. They would wake up in the morning looking at me, licking at me, licking at my lovely, lovely sweat, trying to get me up. Get me up at too early in the morning. I didn't want to get up at 5 to walk them, but guess what I did? I woke up at 5 to walk them. I didn't like that. Dogs are so much work. Living this lifestyle was not so great. I found I didn't like it at all. I was frowning. The dogs noticed it. They're Alpo. They eat the Alpo. They look up and they go, something's not right. They didn't talk, but I can tell. They were sad. They were getting the sweat in their eyes too, the little eye boogers that those dogs get. I take them for walks and they weren't moving. They were staying still. They were like communicating. We don't like you like this. I'm like, I don't like you like this, dog is. Dog is, you need to start moving. Dog is, you need to bring the love into my life. You need to bring in the joy. Because you, possessions, are what makes me feel good in this big old universe of New York City. This life is what I want to live. This whole big show-offy world. This decadent lifestyle. You are it. The dogs look at me, they go, oh. They have this shaking lips and everything, and they don't like it. They're starving, actually, because I started to forget to feed them. I started to forget to walk them. I leave them in my apartment when I go out to do a completely improvised sermon. I would leave them there, and I wouldn't take care of them. People would come knocking on the door smelling feces, and that was not good. That was not decadent. You think it might be if maybe you had some kind of mental problem. It is not. It is not a sin. It is not something wonderful. It's reprehensible. I was letting it deteriorate. I was getting knocks on the door. from people I do not know. I was getting knocks on the door, and I did not answer it. Later, I learned, you know who it was? It was somebody by the name of Debbie. Debbie from the ASPs. Debbie was wondering what's going on with these pup dogs that she gave her. The Baker's Dozen, the Rocky, the Balboa, etc., et al. I think et al. Is more appropriate than etc. in this case. This is a problem, she says. We can't have this happen. I will confiscate the dogs. I said, go ahead. It's an empty threat. She didn't do it. But the message would get through to me. I still didn't care. I still didn't let them walk the dogs. I still went out. I started partying. I started caring more about all the things. I met somebody in Florida, some woman who had a baby, who loved the baby. And then she didn't have a baby anymore, but she still partied. Then she made news. I was partying with that girl. You know that girl. I just can't remember her name right now. Oh my gosh. I was having a fantastic time. Meanwhile, back at my apartment, there was dog dead. Almost. A couple dogs were not feeling good. You could see their ribs. I can show you my ribs right now without a shirt on. And a wonderful vest popping right here. You know, you can see their hungry ribs. It wasn't a pretty sight. You hear the painful sound. I didn't care. Finally, what happened was, talking a little bit too much, I went home and I opened the door and I saw a sight that no one should see. I'm not going to be able to communicate in words exactly what I saw, but let me give it a try. I saw not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, not 10, not 11, not 12, but 13 golden retrievers with nooses around their necks, hanging from a pole in my apartment. They were kicking. Mark, still. They were kicking and you heard them. I cried. I let out. I go, what is going on? I cut up. I grab a cleaver and I slice the ropes. I slice the rope 13 times. The dogs drop to the ground. They're just there. They're pawing at their necks. They can't believe what had happened to them. They didn't understand why I was like this. I knew it was wrong. And in the eyes of the first dog that I got, I looked into its eyes. It was looking at me wonderfully. It knows I'm not a bad person. But I don't just see eyes of a dog in these eyes. No. I see the eyes of someone kind of fatherly. Someone with a little bit of a beard. He looks like he probably wears a robe. Somebody that's standing on a cloud. I see that. And I ask, is that Yahweh? Is that Yahweh? Who is that? The dog goes, and it utters a human sound. I hear it. I feel it. What is going on? God looks at me. The eyes fold down into this cursed frown and says, you know, Reverend Raymond Nader, you've done bad. Your decadent lifestyle of bringing things inside you, bringing it all around you. You can't care for that. You're not a windmill that powers the world. Instead, you're a blowhard. I saw what he was saying. I looked around the small apartment with the 13 dogs lying on the ground, and I realized that this was not right. What I did was, I put my hand around the snout of this dog. I breathed life into it. Like a balloon, it popped open. Suddenly the ribs that were just ribby were suddenly like obese, or something like that. You know, I'm that girl. They just suddenly was like boom. And I went to the next dog, the next dog, and the next dog, and the next dog, and breathed life back into those doggy canine lungs. It was something beautiful. I had these one skinny little golden retrievers now like balloons in my apartment, filling it up. I realized I'd done poorly. I realized I'd done wrong, and I had to correct this. I went to every single dog. I went to Mauricia, I went to Callow, I went to John Franco, I went to all of those dogs, and I went to these names, these dogs, and I said, I will do something better for your life than what I can do now. I have been touched by God! Hallelujah! And I know the direction, I know which way I should go! And that is to take you up top. So what I did was, I went to Central Park with all 13 Belician animals, and I said, here, have a puppy dog. But first, I didn't just give it to anybody. I said, I'm going to do a screen dinner. I went, hallelujah, and I felt it through my wrist. It quivered down my arm, and I could tell up each of those dogs, and suddenly there were no more decadent lifestyles of 13 baker's dozen puppy dogs, or dogs that were older, but instead there was one dog in every family, and a dog that cared for it. And that's what we should do. You know, you think of babies, we think of people bringing babies into life, babies they can't care for, babies they think they can't do anything about, they don't have the funding, they don't have the money to do that. Same with puppy dogs. Dogs are people too. And I found that all out because of a little something, a little revelation of looking in the eyes and seeing something divine. And maybe you're seeing it now, maybe you're not. I'm looking right at you. You don't have to. You're feeling something divine and you get the direction. That's what happened to me that beloved time when I was looking at dogs and bringing the decadent stuff in my life. There is a completely improvised sermon for you based on the suggestions of Decadence and Puppies. And I'm the Reverend Raymond Nader. I want to thank you all for coming out here tonight.